Hey Dusty, I've been thinking about the four Ruinous Pokemon. Few things. They are very obviously Chinese named. Could this be insinuating Gen 10 in China, Asia? Okay, yes, noted. Secondly, Pokemon has recently incorporated biological and ecological themes into their game. We had speciation, which is regional forms, convergent evolution, which is like Diglett and Wiglet, the regional fakes, and divergent evolution, which is like a split evolution line, like Gardevoir or Gallade, for example, and to name but a few. And when I think of the ruins, this is the Ruinous Quartet. I think not only of the ruins of castles, but the ruins of landscapes as the Pokedex entries of these four state. This is unequivocally reference to invasive species. Oddly enough, Asian carp, hogs, deer, and slugs and snails and domestic house cats are among the most destructive of the invasive animals, hogs too. So is this what the Ruinous Four are framed around? Not just the perils, but the destruction of an ecosystem. Love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, these four Pokemon, they're based on animals, but they're all dark type, and there is a story that they all represent the grudges or certain aspects of this evil king that had existed. But I love the idea that they're also, like, the animals that were chosen were also selected because of how invasive they are, right? Or actually, were they also selected because there's some mythology there as well?
There's so much mystery around them, honestly. I've been trying to start digging into it.
That there's more to them in DLC, but I do think they're a hint to an Asia region. And I do think they are even a hint to a China region. And you'll have people who say that, that won't happen because of the political not niceness, if you will, between Japan and China. But my thing is, I don't think that matters because, for one, it's not like Game Freak would be saying, we fully support the Chinese Communist government, and it's not like they'd be putting that in their games. They're just basing it off of the country of China, and might even would go for a more older China too. Anyways, like a more I don't know the eras what they would be called, but like pre-communism China. Then another thing too is they partnered with one of their biggest games. They partnered with a Chinese company to make it, Unite. So I don't think there's an issue there. And I mean, lastly, honestly, they made an America region, and America dropped a nuke on them. So
that's a good point.
I don't.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think there's bad things and great things that happen all over the world for the entirety of human history. So I don't think we can necessarily say this thing isn't ever. This area is never going to be an inspiration because of political. Political.
Because Pokemon isn't politics. I mean, it's
again they're pulling on the history and they're pulling on the culture. I really love the idea that these things are also a reference to what did he call it? Just invasive species. That's kind of what the Ultra Beasts were also based on. And we were discussing in a previous episode, like what the next biological reference or mechanic is going to be to pair well with convergent species or the regional form. So I think this is a really cool thing.
That'd be cool if there was a hog was their fifth legendary in that
would be cool.
group.
They really
cool. DLC.
That would confirm his theory big time. This guy's comment is fire. That's all I can say. There's not much to say. Your friend here, Python.
Yes, yeah.
There's not much to say about it other than it's probably pretty accurate. If it isn't, it should be. It's just it works well.
Most of our responses to these are us debating about it, but that one it's just he sets up such a good argument for it. It's just yeah, that's it, and I don't really know what else to say.